Welcome to episode 472 of AI Brief. We have a massive deep dive for you today. We are covering Perplexity transforming from a simple search engine into a fully autonomous personal finance hub,
We are also looking at Amazon finally showing the receipts to defend their staggering $200 billion AI spend.
along with a medical breakthrough out of Oxford that is catching heart failure 5 full years before doctors can.
Plus, we will cover everything else in today's AI news and give you a roundup of trending tools you can use to boost your productivity.
So let's jump right into the new updates. The first major shift we need to unpack is Perplexity. They just rolled out this massive new integration with Plaid.
And Plaid is essentially the digital plumbing that connects apps to banking institutions. This new integration securely connects over 12,000 different banks directly to Perplexity's new computer agent.
Which is a fundamentally different way of interacting with AI. Right now, this integration is a read-only view of your money, meaning the agent can look at your financial data, but it can't physically move your funds around.
But what it does with the raw data is wild. It pulls in your checking accounts, credit cards, loans, and brokerage data. You just use a text prompt. You say, build me a net worth tracker or create a debt payoff plan, and the agent instantly structures that data into a customized dashboard.
It's like moving from a librarian who simply finds you a book on taxes.
To an accountant who actually tracks your money and fills out the forms.
They are taking that accountant analogy quite literally. Perplexity just introduced a U.S. tax integration. This system autonomously fills out IRS forms and can even review returns that were prepared by human professionals.
The business impact of this pivot toward agentic finance is absolutely staggering. The computer agent only launched in late February, but it just pushed Perplexity's annual recurring revenue past $450 million in March.
I mean, an ARR jumping 50% in a single month to hit $450 million is basically unheard of.
Perplexity is no longer just trying to out-Google Google. They're going after Mint, TurboTax, and the entire app ecosystem by turning search into autonomous action.
But to run millions of autonomous financial agents for users, you need an incomprehensible amount of compute power. Which brings us to Amazon.
CEO Andy Jassy just released his annual shareholder letter, and he finally provided the actual AI revenue figures to defend their massive capital expenditure.
That planned spend sits at a mind-bending $200 billion.
Which has severely rattled investors this year. But Jassy used this letter to fire back with hard data showing locked-in customer demand. He revealed the AI arm of Amazon Web Services has crossed $15 billion in annualized revenue.
That represents a growth rate 260 times faster than AWS itself achieved at the same point in its life cycle.
And the custom chips alone, the Trainium, Graviton, and Nitro chips hit $20 billion in yearly revenue.
I mean, wait, I have to push back here. Is $35 billion in revenue really enough to justify the anxiety over a $200 billion CapEx spend? Or is Amazon just trying to prove they aren't losing the narrative to NVIDIA?
It completely justifies it when you look at the broader market implications. Everyone tracks language models to see who is quote-unquote winning, but the real bottleneck is compute supply.
So Amazon's $20 billion in chip revenue proves NVIDIA finally has real competition on the hardware side.
The demand is so extreme that two unnamed customers actually asked to buy Amazon's entire 2026 Graviton supply. Just two companies tried to buy all of it, and Amazon had to decline the offer.
Let's shift gears from the silicon powering the models to how these models are translating into real-world human impact. Researchers at the University of Oxford have introduced an AI system that catches heart failure.
And it catches it 5 full years before the condition actually develops. It analyzes routine CT scans to detect invisible texture changes in the heart fat caused by inflammation.
They tested this across 72,000 patients, and the system achieved 86% accuracy.
It is heading to NHS hospitals soon. The stakes here are massive because 1 in 4 patients in the high-risk bucket developed heart failure within 5 years.
That is a 20 times higher risk gap compared to the low-risk bucket. But since this uses scans patients are already getting, does this mean the medical breakthrough isn't about gathering new data, but just giving AI the ability to see what human eyes physically can't?
It completely shifts the medical paradigm. Heart failure's biggest enemy is timing. This shifts the approach entirely from reactive treatment to proactive prevention.
Let's take a breath and slow down the pace for a second. We need to zoom out from the major headlines and look at the ripple effects across the broader AI ecosystem.
In the consumer space, Polk just raised $10 million at a $300 million valuation to scale personal life agents via text. These agents manage your schedule, your health, and your photos.
Gemini is also rolling out custom interactive visualizations. You just prompt it with "Show me," and it generates graphics on the fly. They are also introducing dedicated workspace notebooks for paid accounts.
Moving to enterprise infrastructure, Spacelift Intelligence launched a new AI suite, helping teams ship infrastructure as fast as developers write code.
And OpenAI launched a new $100 a month pro tier featuring 5 times more codex usage for heavy agentic coding workflows. This is arriving right amid widespread complaints about Claude's usage limits.
OpenAI has also developed an advanced cybersecurity model, very similar to Anthropic's Mythos, which they are releasing to a small set of partners.
On the legal front, the Florida Attorney General has opened a probe with incoming subpoenas regarding allegations that ChatGPT helped plan a campus shooting at FSU.
And finally, in corporate news, xAI is restructuring its engineering division ahead of an IPO. CFO Anthony Armstrong is departing, and SpaceX executives are stepping in,
If you look at all these updates, the clear through line is agents. From Poke managing your personal calendar to OpenAI's pro-tier building autonomous coders.
which transitions us perfectly into actionable tools you can use to boost your own productivity today.
We have 8 trending tools to run through, starting with LeadFlux, which lets you build entire lead generation funnels in under 30 minutes.
There is Sync 3, delivering studio-grade AI lip syncing and visual dubbing.
And Brila. This tool creates one-page websites strictly from real Google Maps reviews.
Velo lets you share anything as polished video messages generated with AI.
Anthropic's desktop agent, Claude Cowork, is now generally available.
We also have the Perplexity computer we discussed earlier, providing those new agentic connections for your finances and taxes.
Meta released Muse Spark, which is a multimodal reasoning AI featuring a multi-agent mode.
And lastly, Meow. This is the infrastructure allowing AI agents to autonomously open bank accounts and issue cards.
If you connect the dots between Perplexity Computer and Meow, you can see how quickly the infrastructure is forming for AI to have direct, autonomous control over real-world finances.
Which leaves you with a massive concept to think about. If AI can spot heart failure 5 years before it happens, and tools like Meow and Perplexity are giving agents the ability to manage our money,
How long until an AI agent is acting as your default proxy for both your physical and financial health?
we encourage you to follow and share the podcast if you found today's deep dive valuable.
See you in the next episode.